Yeah, I was going to show a little kind of type of patterns and some of the stuff that I pay attention to in our private Discord, whether you're somebody in the Grid Algo program or somebody in the new Algo IQ program. Uh, this is something I kind of always pay attention to. What is it? In our price action training room, I have several videos on price levels and price patterns. And there's a reason why I have those listed. That's good enough. Let's pull those out. I got some runners left on. She will go down to 70. Let's go down to about the 68 level here. The last three runners. Okay, I'm going to show you a little pattern that I was noticing from earlier today. Now I know I have it scrunched up, but you see that right there? That's a W pattern. See the W pattern? And right there's the top of it. Then the prior day, there's a little bit of a W pattern there. It's not a typical one as far as, kind of widespread out. It's kind of was a real fast little W pattern. Okay, so a little bit of W pattern there on the low bounce. A definite, definitive W pattern there. Then we had a triple W. We had a W and then another W pattern this morning. So let's kind of put those on there. So there's that lowest low. So see all those W pattern lift, W pattern lift, came down. We had one low lift, second low W pattern lift. Then they came down, peaked their head just slightly below the prior ones and lifted. These are always institutionals coming down, creating a level where they're doing buying, almost always. Now, another thing I'm going to show you too is look at that. There's kind of a consistent uptrend to the lows. There, that second line was a little bit better. Okay, let's get rid of all those lines. Okay, now let me show you something right here about these W patterns. And this happens a lot. So let's go from the low of this one to that high pivot, and then where it broke out. So that's right there. Then the next one, and I remember watching this one in the evening play out. So that's why in a prior video this morning I said I like this area to be a buyer. Very common institutional patterns when they're buying. They purposely drag market down to an area they want to be a buyer. They push it away. Then they get off the gas pedal. See all these pivot lows? They're driving price to an area they want to be a buyer. They buy in the evening, and wouldn't you know, wow, look at that. News came out, and they were perfectly positioned to take advantage of it. Market ramps in the early part of the after hour session. Then we pull back, we pull it back. So this morning, and what's the market doing here? It's stair-stepping higher, and that's where they were accumulating this morning. So very typical pattern. And I saw the uptrend. So when I'm talking about areas I like to be a buyer or sell, it's not just because I'm looking at it and say, oh, yeah, I want to buy there. There's patterns that I'm seeing. And, we were starting to spend some time outside the lower band. Here we had a big push down outside the bands. There was one there, outside the bands, outside the bands, So everything was screaming at me to be a buyer in this area lightly for a 300K account. The amount of position size I'm trading for a 300K account is, soft. And if it breaks down lower, I know I got some support lower that I can work this trade a bit. Now, if it just gets linear on me, starts running away, whatever I've earned, I can get to a point where I'm still positive, blip out the trade and hold a little bit of profit and wait again for new position. So I like cycling liquidity, down, up, so comes down, I get some lift, I be a buyer, takes them off, comes down, cycle some in, comes up, takes them off, cycles down again, cycle some liquidity in. Markets don't give you V bottoms all the time, and they don't give you inverted V tops. They're scratchy as hell at bottom sometimes. and they're scratchy as heck at tops sometimes before reversals. So I trade dynamically in that mess a lot if I'm trading manually like I was this morning. So that's why I always pay attention to levels, and I always pay attention to patterns, like what's the market doing in context to where was it before? And am I seeing patterns? So this morning we came right down. We're now outside the bands, and I was like, hey, we're just perfectly right above yesterday's area of accumulation leading into the evening when the news came out, when the market reopened and the market shot up. So that's an area that I know there's probably some institutional money in these pricing levels that they're very likely then they've pulled this back by design this morning to come in and start getting some liquidity in here being buyers ahead of the Fed meeting. So they'll probably drag it up here, get somewhere, park it, and then we go into the Fed meeting. So that's something, that behavior is something that I see over and over again and would not surprise me. Actually, I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take one out here. I'm going to move this a bit higher just in case we get a pop. I'll go to something like the 80, we'll go 88s. I'll go down to 2, and we'll call it good. Kind of the middle of this congested range to see if we can get up there. If this breaks above these pivots, this should get some legs and run a little bit. I doubt they need to pull it all the way back down and keep cycling it. Usually one time to the second time down and run. And if it comes down a third time, holds and then lifts, we very, very like 68, 70% of the time, we'll get some range extension above that area where the accumulation was most centered. So we're right there nibbling for where we could get a little bit of accelerated short covering and pop out of that range zone. And any sort of push that stalls out, then I'll take my last positions and just blip it out. But so far, so good this morning, way over daily goal. And I was done on the 150K accounts earlier with Algo IQ setups. And now I'm playing around with a 300K account, one that I do manual trading in. I have a range of them trading automated, but I have one of my group of accounts that I just trade manually as I'm kind of, go for more than daily goal. I've been getting about 2,500 to 3K a day on this particular one, working areas of price levels, dual bands trades. So I'm kind of watching everything on multiple charts as I'm, targeting entries on a particular chart. And the good thing is there's a built-in trade copier, so I can have the account -1 talking out to accounts -2 through 14, but then I can go on account -15 and trade it manually. So it doesn't have to be linked into the trade copier. So Quantower is a pretty damn good trade platform. Matter of fact, let me just show you here real quick. If you go in here, you'll see that there's a, let me find here the trade copier. I think we got market replay. The hell is the trade copier? I just want to show you they have all these tabs where you can go in. There you go, copy trading, yeah, CTR. So CTR is their trade copier. It's built into the platform, and and then also another good thing, you can't see it, I don't have my screen, but I mean you can have AMP CQG data tied in. You can have data from crypto firms. You can have Rithmic data. So it's a multi-data connection type platform too. So all the new Algo IQ tools that are about to be deployed for the first Algo IQ live event are all running in Quantower. And we do have TickBlaze version of the Algo IQ tools now in build. So that's progressing along. So there you have it. Just want to give you another update on why I was a buyer in this area price. And we'll see if we can break out and trade a bit higher. But I'll keep working it here. And looking forward to Fed Day. It would be nice to see the market come up and break through that upper range. So far, a lot of the data actually has been pretty good. Some of the earnings have been good. Some of the economic data has been pretty damn decent. Inflation's coming way off. So I'd be shocked if Fed, I don't think they'll lower interest rates today, but I'll be shocked if they don't lower in June. And if they don't, it just lends to the some of the opinions that the Fed is working against the current administration, not with it. With all the data, it shows they should obviously be lowering interest rates. They should have already done it, and they should be lowering some more today. Okay, we'll call it good. I mean, look at where oil prices are. Cripes, so many oil prices are really dropped, and a lot of things have dropped in cost. So it's time to lower those interest rates and get things, people buying cars, people buying homes or whatever, at much better interest rate levels. Okay, there you have it. In my last few runners for the day, and I'll shoot some more video later. I'll do a NQ, IQ signals overview. Probably do that later in the day. Got a few calls with programmers here scheduled in the next coming up midday, and then after that I'll put up some more videos. And I got some updated information on event scheduling and info, good stuff that I'll be putting out to the Algo IQ group that kicks off next week or this weekend. So there you have it, everybody. Talk to you later. Have a great trade day. Fed News Day, don't forget.